Ashritam, surrounded. Swayambhu. Brahma, the self-born. So Lord Brahma is also called Hiranyagarbha. As he has come out from the navel of Lord Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Sakam, along with Rishibi, the sages, Marichi, the great sage Marichi, Adivi, the others, Abhyayad, he came there. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Brahma, the firstborn living being, went along with Marichi and other sages to the place of Kardama's hermitage, which was surrounded by the river Saraswati. Please repeat. Brahma, the firstborn living being, went along with Marichi and other sages to the place of Kardama's hermitage, which was surrounded by the river Saraswati. Purport by Prabhupada. Brahma is called Swayambhu because he is not born of any material father and mother. He is the first living creature and is born from the lotus which grows from the abdomen of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu. Therefore, he is called Swayambhu or self-born. Next verse. Bhagavantam Param Brahma Satvena Amsena Satruhan Tattva Sankyana Vignaptai Jatam Vidvan Ajaswara. Bhagavantam Param Brahma Satvena Amsena Satruhan Tattva Sankyana Vignaptai Jatam Vidvan Ajaswara. Bhagavantam, the Lord, Param, Supreme, Brahma, Brahman, Satvena, having an uncontaminated existence, Amsena, by a plenary portion, Satruhan, O killer of the enemy, Vidura, Tattva Sankyana, the philosophy of the 24 material elements. That's the Sankhya, a detailed explanation of these 24 elements. The Vignaptai, for explaining Jatam, appeared, Vidwan, knowing, Aja, the unborn, Lord Brahma, Swarat, independent. Interesting. Lord Brahma is also called Swarat here. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maitreya continued, O killer of the enemy, the unborn Lord Brahma, who is almost independent in acquiring knowledge, could understand that a portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his quality of pure existence had appeared in the womb of Devahuti, just to explain the complete state of knowledge known as Sankhya Yoga. Please repeat. Maitreya continued, O killer of the enemy, the unborn Lord Brahma, who is almost independent in acquiring knowledge, could understand that a portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his quality of pure existence, that is the important point, Sattva, Satvena, pure goodness, quality of pure existence had appeared in the womb of Devahuti just to explain the complete state of knowledge known as Sankhya Yoga. Purport by Sri Prabhupada. In Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter, it is stated that the Lord himself is the compiler of Vedanta Sutra and is the perfect knower of the Vedanta Sutra. Similarly, Sankhya philosophy is compiled with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his appearance as Kapila. There is an imitation Kapila, Nitishti Kapila, who has a Sankhya philosophical system, but Kapila is the incarnation of God, is different from that Kapila. The earlier verse Prabhupada is quoting, mentioning is here is 15.15. Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishto matta smritir gnanam apohanancha. Vedaischa sarver aham eva vedyo vedantikrit vedavid eva chaham. That is the Paribhasha Sutra of Bhagavad Gita 15.15, very famous verse. Kapila, the son of Kardamuni, in his system of Sankhya philosophy, very explicitly explained not only the material world but also the spiritual world. Brahma could understand this fact because he is Swarat, almost independent in receiving knowledge, almost, not fully, almost. He is called Swarat because he did not go to any school or college, this is another reason, to learn, but learned everything from within. So Lord Krishna's flute sound through two Gayatri mantras. Because Brahma is the first living creature within this universe. He had no teacher. He is a teacher of the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, who is seated in the heart of every living creature. Brahma acquired knowledge directly from the Supreme Lord within the heart. Therefore, he is sometimes called Swarat and Aja. जन्माद्य अस्य यथा अन्वयात् तृतश्च अर्धेषु विघ्नस्वरात् तेने ब्रह्महृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत् सूर्ये तेजो वायुमृतां यथा विनिमयो त्रिसर्गो मृष दाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकोहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. First verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, establishing the supreme absolute truth, how all the rasas, creation, maintenance, destruction, everything comes from the Supreme Lord. And Lord Brahma has been invested with the full power to be the secondary creator. That's why he's been mentioned here as Swarat. He is also almost, because Lord Krishna is mentioned there as Abhigna, fully cognizant of the whole world, material, spiritual, everything he knows. And Swarat is fully independent. He is self-sufficient, doesn't need anybody's help for anything. So that is what is explained. But Lord Brahma is also been given Tene Brahmodaya Adikave. Through flute sound has been given the Gayatri mantras, and we'll understand more how Lord Krishna has given the Dasamula Tattva Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan. And that one verse, very, very important verse of the Brahma Samhita, which generally we don't read, which we don't chant, because that's not the instruction being given, but important purport, elaborate purport given by Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhupada on that, very prominent. Another important point is stated here, Satvena Amsena. And these also important points are there. And we'll come to that. Satvena Amsena, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears, he brings with him all his paraphernalia of Vaikuntha. Therefore, his name, his form, his quality, his paraphernalia, and his entourage all belong to the transcendental world. Real goodness is in the transcendental world. Here in the material world, the quality of goodness is not pure. Goodness may exist, but there must also be some tinges of passion and ignorance. In the spiritual world, the unalloyed quality of goodness prevails. There's a quality of goodness is called Shuddha Sattva, Visuddha Sattva. Pure goodness. Another name of Shuddha Sattva is Vasudeva. Because God is born from Vasudeva. That's what Vasudeva means. Because we have Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Vasudeva is for pure consciousness without any adulteration. Sankarsana is for ego, real ego, that transforms into false ego. We will come to that. When Visuddha Sattva has some is Sandhini, Ladini, how it gets perverted, all three of them, when it comes to the material world. The Sankarsana is for ego, comes to the false ego in material world, and then we have Pradyumna is for intelligence, is in charge for intelligence, and then Aniruddha is for in charge for the mind. So that's why there are prayers on these personalities. Another meaning is that when one is purely situated in the qualities of goodness, he can understand the form, name, quality, paraphernalia, and entourage of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Amsena also indicates that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, appeared as Kapila Deva in a portion of his portion. God expands either as Kala or as Amsa. Amsa means direct expansion. Kala means expansion of the expansion, part and parcels. There is no difference between the expansion and the expansion of the expansion and the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly, as there is no difference between one candle and another, but till the candle from which others are lit is called the original. Krishna is therefore called the Parabrahman, or the ultimate Godhead, cause of all causes. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Pradyanti is the avatari, is the original source of all incarnations. Now let's pray and then understand these two verses, especially this verse. Previous verse doesn't have much purport. Om Ajnanata Grandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Vangayate Girim Yatkrupatam Vande Sri Gurum Devataram Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. So we are discussing this Canto 3, chapter 24, verse number 9 and 10, where it is being stressed in the purport. The one aspect of this particular verse is Visuddha Sattva, Sattvena Amsena, the pure goodness, how one can come to this quality of pure goodness. So, and Maitreya is explained to Vidura that now Lord, as because Mother Devahuti is lamenting that now what's going to happen? Daughters are born, you are leaving me, how I can be delivered? So I didn't take your association properly. In that context, now Lord Kapila is going to be born, that's what he tells, and then Kardamani leaves. Then Maitreya Muni is explaining that aspect here. Now, as I told, now Visuddha Sattva, first of all, let's understand what Lord Brahma has been instructed by the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. This is in Brahma Samhita. Lord is instructing how you're going to do work, but how you should do work as a secondary creator. How you can become perfect your work and realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead and go back home, back to Godhead. That is instruction for Lord Brahma and for all of us, very important. Abandoning all meritorious performance, serve me with faith. The realization will correspond to the nature of one's faith. The people of the world act ceaselessly in pursuance of some ideal. By meditating on me, by means of those deeds, one will obtain devotion, characterized by love in the shape of the supreme service. Purport by Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Goswami Prabhupada. The function characterized by unalloyed devotion is the real function of all individual souls. All other varieties of functions are activities of the external cases. These esoteric dharmas functions are non-different knowledge of Brahman, aiming at extinction of individuality, or Ashtanga Yoga Dharma, basically karma, yoga, jnana, all these. They're not the bhakti, lesser degrees. Having its goal, attainment of state of exclusive existence or kaivalya, atheistic fruitive ritualism, aiming at material enjoyment, jnana yoga dharma, seeking to combine knowledge with fruitive activity, and the practice of function of barren asceticism. Getting rid of all this, serve me by pure devotion, rooted in faith. This is the faith is important. Now further on faith, Lord is stressing importantly. Exclusive faith in me is trust. Faith in the form of trust by the process of gradual purification tends to become a constant engagement, nishtha. So faith is there. Ado Shraddha we hear from Rupa Goswami. Sadhakana mayam premno pradur bhavet, step by step. Ado Shraddha, tada sadhasango, tada bhajana kriya, tada anardha nivrittisya, tada nishtha, tada ruchi, tada bhava, tada prema abhyudanchati. How one can. But that faith, there is a different degrees of faith. That's why it is an exclusive faith. Transcendental faith that changes. We will see here. Faith in the form of trust by the process of gradual purification tends to become a constant engagement, nishtha, an object of liking, ruchi, of attachment, asakti, and real sentiment, bhava. The more transparent the faith, again, the important faith, the more transparent the faith, the greater the degree of realization. That means when the words coming from the lotus mouth of Sukadeva Goswami, that's why we offer, why we chant Narayan Naskuch Naranchiva Narottam. Everybody must chant, because without taking shelter of Sukadeva Goswami and our Acharya spiritual master Prabhupada Parampara, we can't get, because first we have to submit to them. They are the ones who are giving us the knowledge, who are speaking this, the absolute truth. By submitting to them, by being faithful to them, by subservient to them, by following their instructions, carrying out their instructions very carefully, diligently, with that submission, with that faith, means no other moving here and there, no speculation, exactly as it is. That is what this faith means. So that's why here Lord Krishna is instructing Brahma how much he should have this faith. If you ask how will the preservation and conduct of worldly affairs be feasible if one is continuously engaged in the endeavor of realization of bhakti? What also will be the nature of the endeavor for the realization of bhakti when the body will perish consequent on the cessation of function of the body and society? How is this possible? So that on that point, Lord is further, Prabhupada is writing. This is Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur Prabhupada. In order to strike at the root of this misgiving, the Supreme Lord says, this world subsists by constant performance of certain activities. Fill all these activities with meditation of me. This will destroy the quality that makes those activities appear as acts done by you. They will then be of the nature of my service, bhakti. And that is what is repeatedly called out throughout the activities, just like Ambarish Maharaj clearly Prabhupada quotes, Savai Mana Krishna Padarvindayor Vaikuntha Vachams Gunanuvarni. He used pretty much all 9 limbs of devotional service. He used his hands, legs, everything he used. His whole body, his mind, his senses, everything. His property, his wealth, his kingdom, his citizens, his wife, everything in the service of the Lord. So that's what makes perfect and purification. Mankind lived by the threefold activities of the body, mind, society: eating, sitting, walking, resting, sleeping, cleansing the body, covering the body, etc. are the various bodily activities. Thinking, recollecting, retaining an impression, becoming aware of an entity, feeling pleasure and pain are the mental feats. Marrying, practicing reciprocal relationship between the king and subject, practicing brotherhood, attending sacrificial meetings, offering oblations, digging wells, tanks, etc. for the benefit of people, maintaining one's relation, practicing hospitality, observing proper civic conduct, showing due respect to others are the various social activities. When these acts are performed for one's selfish enjoyment, they are called karma kanda. When the desire for attainment of freedom from activity by knowledge underlies these actions, they are termed as jnana yoga or karma yoga. But when these activities are managed to be performed in this way that is conducive to our endeavor for attainment of bhakti, they are called jnana bhakti yoga. That is subsidiary of devotion. But only these activities that is characterized by the principle of pure worship are called bhakti proper. My meditation is practiced in every act when bhakti proper is practiced. In due time, while performing the subsidiary devotional activities in one's intercourse with the ungodly people of this world, in such a position, a jiva does not become apathetic to Godhead, even by performing those worldly activities. This constitutes the practice of looking inward, that is, turning towards one's real self. That is important instruction. The real significance being that if whatever is accepted be received as a favor which vouchsafed by Supreme Lord, the worldly activity will cease to be such and will turn into service of Godhead bhakti. So Isa Vasyam says, Kurvan eveha karmani karma lipite mure. The worldly acts are performed in the above manner. One does not get entangled in karma, even in hundreds of years of worldly life. The meaning of these two mantras from the Jnana point of view is renouncement of fruits of one's worldly action. But from Bhakti point of view, they mean attainment of Krishna's favor, prasadam, by their transfer to his account. In this method, which is the path of Archana, you should do your duties of the world by the meditation of worshipping Godhead. Thereby, Brahma cherishes the desire for creation in his heart. If that creative desire is practiced by conjoining the same with the meditation of obeying therein the command of the Supreme Lord, then it will be subsidiary spiritual function. Gauna Dharma being helpful for the growth of disposition for the service of the divinity by reason of its characteristic of seeking protection of Godhead. It is certainly proper to instruct Brahma in this manner. There is no occasion of such instruction in the case of Jiva, in whom the spontaneous aversion for entities other than Krishna manifests itself, and his attainment of substantial entity of spiritual devotion, Bhava. So in this way, Lord is instructing Lord Brahma how he should be cognizant of each and every activity. He is not the doer. Everything belongs to the Lord. He is only the menial servant of Krishna. Now, the pure goodness, Lord Shiva himself is mentioning. Sattvam visuddham vasudeva sabdidam yat iyate tatra puman apavrata sattvecha tasmin bhagavan vasudevo ki adokshajo me manasa vidiyate. This is 4.3.23, very famous verse. Why we use? Everything must be understood. Otherwise, it will be mechanical and theoretical. When we are doing Prema Dhwani, do we know? We should know. We should identify what it means. Jevam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paraviraj Kajar Ashtotra. What is that Ashtotra means? In this verse, 4.3.23, Prabhupada explains that Ashtotra also means Not anybody and everybody in this world these days, they are using these words, sahasra, stotra, everything for anybody. But it cannot be used for anybody unless they are situated in pure goodness. They are the pure devotees of the Lord, then only they can use that particularly. So that's what Premadhvani specifically means, pure goodness. Spiritual masters, Achara Parampara is situated in that pure goodness. Now, I'm always engaged in offering obeisance to Lord Vasudeva in pure Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is always pure, in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Vasudeva, is revealed without any covering. As soon as one is fully Krishna consciousness, it is to be understood that one is in pure original consciousness, constitutional position. This is called Suddha Sattva, which means transcendental to material qualities. For example, when iron is put into fire, it becomes warm. When red hot, although it is iron, it acts like a fire. Similarly, when copper is surcharged with electricity, it acts as its action as copper stops. It acts as electricity. So 14.26 exemplifies this. Mam chayo abhya vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samtitan brahma bhuyaya. Therefore, Suddha Sattva described is a transcendental position, which is technically called Vasudeva. Is also the name of the person from whom Krishna appears. This pure state is called Vasudeva because in that state, Vasudeva, Supreme Personality of Godhead, is revealed without any covering. To execute unadulterated devotion service, therefore, one must follow the rules and regulations of devotion service without desire to gain material profit by fruitive activities or mental speculations. In pure devotion service, one simply serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead as a matter of duty, without reason, without being impeded by material conditions. This is called Vasudeva Sattva. Sri Jiva Goswami has very nicely described this Vasudeva or Suddha Sattva in Bhagavad Sandar. We explained that Ashtotra Shata, 108, is added to the name of spiritual master to indicate one who is situated in Suddha Sattva. A transcendental state of Vasudeva is also used for other books. So in this way, we can understand why was that Ashtotra we use. Very important aspect. Now, further, this Sattva, Samvit, Sandhini and Hadini Shakti is also called Suddha Sattva. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The condition of the pure goodness, Suddha Sattva, in which the personality of Godhead is revealed without any covering, is called Vasudeva. In that pure state of Godhead, who is beyond the material senses, who is known as Vasudeva, is perceived in my by my mind. There is now is explaining about this. Essence of Samvit potency is the knowledge that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna. All other kinds of knowledge, such as the knowledge of Brahman or its components. The Samvit Shakti produce effect of cognition. Both the Lord and the living entities are cognizant. He can have knowledge merely by glancing over an object, whereas innumerable impediments block the cognition of ordinary living beings. That is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the living entity. The cognition of living beings has three divisions: direct knowledge, indirect knowledge, perceived knowledge, perverted knowledge. Sense perception of material objects by the mundane senses, such as ear, eye, nose, and hand, always produce definitely perverted knowledge. This illusion is a presentation of material energy, which is influenced by the Samvit Shakti in perverted manner. So the same Samvit Shakti acts in a perverted way in this material world. So that we have to understand that. So the same Samvit, now the same Samvit, now the Hladini Shakti, that also acts pervertedly. Hladini Sara Prema, Prema Sara Bhava, Bhavera Parama Kasta, Nama Mahabhava. The essence of Hladini potency is potency of love of Godhead. The essence of love of God is emotion Bhava, and the ultimate development of emotion Mahabhava. The product of Hladini Shakti is love of Godhead, which has two divisions, namely pure love of Godhead and adulterated love of Godhead. Only when Hladini Shakti emanates from Sri Krishna and is bestowed upon living being to attract him does the living being become pure lover of God. But when the same Hladini Shakti is adulterated by the external material energy emanates from living being, it does not attract Krishna. On the contrary, the living being becomes attracted by glamour of the material energy. So that is the difference between the this pure and impure, Vasudeva consciousness and not impure. Now the Kapila, Lord Kapila's instruction, as Prabhupada is quoting, and this is the instruction of what Kapila has given, is also very important. This is from the same canto. Madguna Shruti Matrena Mai Sarva Guhase Manogatir Avichinna Yata Gangam Baso Ambudho. Lakshanam bhakti yogasya nirgunasya udahritam ahaituki avyavahita ya bhakti purushottame. The manifestation of unadulterated devotion service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Personality of God, who is residing in everyone's heart, just as the water of Ganga flows naturally down towards the ocean. Such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows toward the Supreme Lord. The word ahaituki means without cessation. A pure devotee does not render loving service to the Supreme Personality of God for any case or any benefit, material or spiritual. This is the first symptom of unalloyed devotion. Anyabhula has no desire to fulfill by rendering devotion. Such devotion service is meant for Purushottama only, not for anyone else. Sometimes pseudo devotees show devotion to many demigods, thinking in the forms of the demigod to be the same as Supreme Personality of God. It is specifically Avyavahita means without cessation. A pure devotee must engage in the service of the Lord 24/7 without cessation. His life is so molded that every minute, every second, he engages in some sort of devotion service to Supreme Lord. Another meaning is interest of the devotee and the interest of the Supreme Lord are on the same level. The devotee has no interest but to fulfill the transcendental desire of the Supreme Lord. Such spontaneous service on the Supreme Lord is transcendental and is never contaminated with material modes. These are the symptoms of pure devotion service, which is free from all contamination of the material nature. So that's why we have to pray and we have to follow what Srila Prabhupada has given. As long as we are fully submitted and we are ready to follow as it is, what given by a spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, Acharya Parampara, then we'll get, because they have it, they have the quality of pure devotion, and we get it by drawing the mercy from them, Ahaitiki Kripa, causeless mercy. So by sincerely praying and following and associating the pure devotees. So that's what is the purpose of Lord Kapila coming down to instruct Mother Devotee, and for all of us to take that instruction very carefully and do it every day. Engage in this pure devotion service. Thank you very much. All the time is up. Andhra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Krishna Madhav. We'd like to wish everybody a safe and Krishna conscious day and week ahead. The last day of July. We'd like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Rama,
Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Shri Narsingha,
Jai Narsingha, Jai
Jai
Narsingha,
Narsingha,
Jai Narsingha, Prahladesh, Jai Padma Mukha Padma Bringa,
Ugra Veera
Ugra Veera Mahavishnu Jalantam Sarvatomukham, Narsingha Bhishmanam Bhadram Uttam Namami.
Narsingha Bhagwan ki jai, Prahlad ki jai.
Jai.
Let's offer our obeisances at all the Assembled Vaishnavas. Vancha Kalpataru.
Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyavach Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namo.
Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Granth
Jai.
Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Lord Premanande
Hari Bol. Thank you, Krishna Namadi Prabhuji. Thank you, everyone. Hari Krishna. Hari Bol.
Thank you. Thank you.